Dick, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
What's up, folks? It's the AGS Podcast. I'm your boy, Rebel Scum. I'm here with most of the pod squad tonight to cover our best of moments for the 2025 season. We have a nice collection of great memories from the season that was, the people that were in the league, and some great inspirational quotes as well. Before we get into it, let me introduce the current champ, five-time champ, Cebert Frogs, commissioner of the league. Welcome back, champ.
Clear eyes, full hearts, 5 chips, can't lose. I thoroughly enjoyed this year of the pod and excited to look back at some of our most memorable and funniest moments.
Yeah, great to have you back. Quick question on the Friday Night Lights quote. Well, you just started that this season. What was the cause? What was the inspiration for that?
I guess just piggybacking off of Quan, he had his go-to saying, and I like all sports movies. I'd spent recently in the last year or two, I binged the Friday Night Lights. I took I did not prepare for this answer. One of the guys from the Mexico City Olympics that had the fist in the air. He was a professor at Berkeley. I took his classic Cal. And that was one of the books that we read and discussed and broke down in the class. I've seen the movies. NJC, our frat brother from BQ, I think he was in the movie.
Yep.
Famous Jet Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
So just a movie, football related that I just remember that was the quote that the coach would say to the team before every game. So thought I could use that and then kind of mix it up each week.
Clear eyes, full hearts.
Let's go!
That's sick. Yeah, wow. So Dr. Harry Edwards is the professor you had, and he was a keynote speaker at a conference I attended in San Francisco the week before the pandemic kicked off. That's pretty crazy. NJC, welcome back. One more week of the pod with you. So good to see you. How you doing, my man?
Same here. Welcome. Thank you. Happy New Year, boys. Hope everybody had a good end of 25, good start to 26. Definitely looking forward to wrap this season up with the top moments. There's been some funny ones.
You sound really excited, so I'm equally excited to get into this.
Hey, well, you guys are, I'm lucky to be in the presence of the two most recent AGS birthday boys, man. So on the pod, happy birthday to you both. Clearly, NJC has been celebrating a lot and is recovering now. So, I know you guys had a trip to the snow, NJC, and all I know is Frankensons, Nick. I don't know anything else you might have done to celebrate, but happy birthday, boys. Good to see you guys on here.
Thanks, man.
Frankenson is one of my happy spots. This might be my year, guys. I turned 44 on the 4th, and I was born at 4:44 in the evening. So
hey, man, all those fours. You, Jay-Z, and Beyonce.
I don't know if you guys saw the thread real quick, but we got a message from Quan. I didn't know we were shooting tonight.
It's the voice, man. Whatever that voice you do is hilarious, dude. It's the hums and the mumbles. You can't hear anything over it, dude.
That's funny. Well, we'll see if he jumps on. We'll see what happens.
I know for a fact that over an hour ago, my wife told his wife that we were recording tonight. So unless she just kept that secret from him, he knew as of an hour ago.
And he should have known as of last week. Post-pod production talks. We kind of try to do it professional here, folks. We have pre-pod, post-pod discussions. We have notes on the thread. We have documents. We got all kinds of shit going on. But, some of us can keep it together. The other guys just talk about a dynasty that never was.
Well, he's in that post-championship loss funk. Sadness.
He should be used to it by now.
Oh,
you would think.
It's 3 years in a row, man. Like, it should have hurt less, right?
Hey, I think I told Coop. I mean, obviously, I don't know if he's going to join, but if he doesn't, we had a great time at his house on New Year's Day. Shout out to Mrs. Kwan and the little Kwans. Happy birthday, the oldest of the little Kwans. We had some really great gumbo and beans of rice, courtesy of Mrs. Frogs. And I was talking to Coop, and we had a little moment where Coop was like, "Man, I think he said he was going to talk some mess or something at Cosm, and he just looked over at Lou, and he just felt bad."
I mean, to build bridges, people have to fall.
And it was funny because I shared the same sentiment when we were filming the pod last week. I had my vicious top 3 prepared, and then the video, the video of like Coop, that touchdown where Nakua caught the touchdown, and it showed like Quan for a second. His face was like, I felt so bad that I almost didn't want to do my top 3, but we got to give the people what they want. So,
well, the listeners were definitely happy that you did. They said it was too positive. It was the most positive episode all year, and until we got some fireworks in your top 3. So we appreciate that.
It was strangely positive, and I don't know if it feels like a lot of it has happened since the exclusion of a former member, which we'll get into as one of the highlights. But I feel like these are opportunities where you get to lay into people. This is our arena for this kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we're just getting older and wiser, NJC, or maybe you are. But
well, to NJC's point, I had to do a rewrite on my speech because I definitely laid into the Quan many times because throughout the years he hasn't held back on me, but for some reason after the chip and just seeing him, you want to kick a dead dog when it's down, man. So yeah, I rewrote my speech, and I tried to be show a little bit more humility.
That's good, because as we'll see here in a few minutes, words do impact people. And I think we could point to some of the words that were shared and said on the podcast and the thread leading to some of the drama that happened later on this season. But let's start kind of at the beginning. Most fantasy football leagues, most standard fantasy football leagues, they begin with their draft. Guys are prepping who they're going to pick in their snake draft or whatever. In our league, with the keepers, and the way we have things fashioned, our prep starts at essentially before that, but really a keeper announcement when we know how we're going to build our teams. And last year's keeper announcement, I guess, having watched the video, was filled with some fireworks. I shocked some people with my keeper picks, and it came back to bite me immediately. Right after the draft, at the draft, actually, the current champ, Frogs, kind of laid into me a little bit for my decisions. Really made me feel bad. I mean, really, I felt like shit. I was like, I really fucked this up. I was sweating on the drive home, not looking forward to the next podcast the next week. And sure enough, what I knew was happened. And here's a quick peek of how Cebert Frogs fashioned a butterfly effect to show the downfall and tragedy of Rebel Scum.
This is Frogs Butterfly Effect Part 2, titled The Tragedy of Rebel Scum. Welcome back to Frogs Butterfly Effect, the only segment where I ask, what if? What if a single decision, a single handshake, a single moment of fantasy football panic could send ripples through the space-time continuum of any given Sunday? Today's cautionary tale, our host, Rebel Scum, and the Shakespearean tragedy of Bo Nix. Let's rewind the tape. The origin story of Bo Nix, it all began in the hazy twilight of the 2024 draft. A bold visionary known as T. Ruth selected Bo Nix in the 9th round. Not great, not terrible, a dart throw. But the winds of fate turned cruel on September 11th, an infamous date in our country's history. T. Ruth cast Bo Nix aside like the tub of leftover matzo ball soup from Bussy's bat mitzvah in favor of Derek Carr. You know, that quarterback who aged in dog years over the season, ended up quarterback 25 with 187 points, and retired from the NFL 3 months ago. Enter our tragic hero, Rebel Scum. On October 23rd, Scum snatched Bo Nix off waivers. What followed? A fantasy fairy tale. Bo Nix caught fire, finished as the number 8 quarterback at AGS with 393 points. Just 2 spots behind Scum's own franchise quarterback, Jaden Daniels, who had 427 points. Fast forward, like Quan mentioned, to last episode's keeper announcements, where Scum stood on his digital soapbox and proclaimed, and I had to re-listen to this. It's a win-win. I will keep both Daniels and Nix. Sure, they share a bye week, but Bo Nix, he's value, baby. VALUE, value. Scum's keeper casualty.
I wrestled with this all offseason, to be honest with you. And I finally hit a point where I felt like I got liberated. And I said,
I know what you're about to say.
You don't know what I'm about to say. Well, there's only one really real move here for me. So my rookie contracts, I think that's simple. I'm going to roll with George Pickens. I'm going to keep that contract, let it play itself out this season. You know,
I think it was good for you that he was traded to the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm going to keep those 2 guys. And I'm going to keep Deebo Samuel. He's found a new home with Jaden Daniels. So it seemed like a straight, logical trade. And then I'm going to keep Bo Nix.
Whoa.
I knew that's what you were going to do. I knew you were going to drop Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, Kupp is gone. Kupp is gone. He he's injury prone. He's in Seattle. I think actually it's going to affect him psychologically, man. You know, and you need that extra psychological push just to get through the season, to play through the pain. I don't think the homecoming is going to be very welcoming for Cooper Kupp up in Seattle. So the Cooper Kupp era, sorry we couldn't get you a chip, man. We came close. Fucking who was that motherfucker I had? Aaron Jones, dude. That guy fucked me that year, man. Sorry about that. Anyways, Cooper Kupp.
Just to confirm here, you're the first team tonight to bring back 2 quarterbacks?
That is correct. That is
you
correct.
are locking in Jaden Daniels rookie
contract. That's got to be making history. Other than
the Woomy.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the cuts are it's trash, man. It's a bunch of running backs by committee that I can keep, and I see this is a very positive thing. This is a win-win situation. It's obviously controversial, perhaps even provocative. Fantasy football connoisseurs in a keeper league, you usually wouldn't do this. You brought up a Woomy. That's not really a place, a team. Most teams want to settle around. But fortunately,
model right there.
Yeah. But like I said, there's a couple of different wins that can come out of this, no matter what happens, provided everyone's healthy and plays to their ability. I think it's going to be a good sophomore season for both of these quarterbacks. The irony in this situation is that I ended up in the exact same spot as Joe Woomy, and he beat me to take the 3rd keeper. You called it right in the butterfly effect there, Frogs. It was a decision that made no sense, and it came back to bite me for like a 2-week stretch there mid-season with Rico Dowdle cooking and Cam Scatterboo before his leg fell off. It looked like I might have righted the ship, but those guys got hurt, and the ship went a-sinking just like that. I watched Jalen Warren last night run in a touchdown, or Gainwell run in a touchdown, and I was just wondering if I'm going to have to suffer the same fate next season with my keeper. To make matters worse, I drafted Caleb Johnson #1, and that guy didn't play like 3 snaps all season, so completely backfired, and the draft day decision cooked me for the season.
Speaking of that, you see Jaden Blue run that touchdown in for the friggin' Cowboys?
I was trying to find a Jaden Blue gif, but he hadn't done anything all year, so there's no gifs have been made of him yet. But I thought that was funny. I think an important piece of from the butterfly effect that I don't know if we were able to get to it on that clip, but it was the fact, I think we talked about the trade of Bo Nix for a Penix in the draft. Because ultimately, even with keeping 2 quarterbacks, Bo Nix ended up top 7. I think he was the number 7 quarterback in AGS. So that was another element to the butterfly effect. Not only had you kept them, but then you traded one and Penix got hurt, didn't really pan out. The players that were cut, not only did they hurt your team, correct me if I'm wrong, you mentioned Warren, I think it was Javonte Williams, and Chris Olave. Olave was cut too. So not only did those cuts impact how your team performed, Olave and Williams made it to the Super Bowl. Played against each other in the Super Bowl, started in the Super Bowl. So hurt you and helped the teams participate in the championship game. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, man, anything I can do to help everybody else get better. 4 years of those guys on my team and couldn't sniff a Super Bowl. As soon as I let them go, they're off to bigger and better pastures. Yeah. That one. And you know, the worst part about that whole thing is that before I took Michael Penix, I was looking at Drake May. I was looking right at that guy. I had him circled, breakout. But then I looked at the Atlanta offense and I thought, well, New England doesn't have the same weapons. You know, they don't have Kyle Pitts, they don't have Drake London, they don't have Bijan Robinson. Half those games will be indoors.
Drake may or may not win the MVP this year.
The butterfly effect. Just that's how it goes. That's how it fucking goes. Well, you know, maybe if I would have had somebody in my corner picking my team for me, I might have done a little bit better. We've been speculating this for the last couple of seasons since Oops Babies joined the league. And I think we got our first official taste of unprecedented collusion live on the podcast. The same fucking episode. This was the same exact episode. We're announcing the keepers, and then this happens.
Marvin Harrison. And then as a Rams fan, you know, I'm excited to have Devontae Adams on the squad. First and foremost, man. You know, I inherited him. You know,
Wait.
Jesus, what the hell?
Time out.
Live collusion?
Live collusion on the chat.
Live collusion?
What?
Amazing.
What is this? We are filming live.
Tape. We got the lawyer here with us. We got the
Oops
lawyer here
keepers
with
have
us.
already been announced on the chat.
Before he even finished his speech.
Oh, wait. I didn't.
What
Oh.
is happening here?
I guess it's obvious, man. But I mean, damn.
We didn't know it was that obvious.
I didn't know we had so many police on this motherfucker, man.
Hey, there was no backing out of that one. Somehow, though, Quan does it. He's got a little bit of Trump in him, man. There's no truth he can't untruth. There's no lie he won't untie.
Well, I wish he was here to defend himself. Somehow, after 17 weeks, he forgot that we record every Monday, and we not only discussed this last week in post-production, but there's a dedicated chat while we were preparing for this. But I think it's obvious. I think there's clear collusion between Quan and Oops. I think that, you know, when you're new to fantasy football, you'll go to desperate lengths to win a championship. And I think Quan's thought, you know, I'm going to bring in my cousin that'll give me that much more percentage of AGS that I can control. It was brought to light in that episode, and I think that adds to the post-championship loss depression that, you know, and almost the fantasy gods, right? They're like, look, Quan, you illegally brought your cousin in here. You guys are up to shenanigans, backroom shenanigans, and I'm going to repay your franchise. This is Oops' third year. And
yeah.
What's happened the last 3 years? Quan has lost 3 championships in a row, 3 Super Bowls in a row ever since he brought Oops in, man. The fantasy gods are always right. They don't mess around.
Wow. Ever since he screamed at Oops to not pick Bryce Young. No!
We didn't discuss that. Stick to the script. Read the script.
Hey, there's no shit. He's got the politician thing down, man. He'll just move right along. Just, you know.
There's so many things, so many different examples of just fuckery.
A lot of fuckery.
Can't keep Matrix dodging forever.
like Oops has such a outgoing personality, right? Like I just want to, I want to hear his voice, right? I don't want to think of Oops as Quan's cousin. I want to think of Oops as Brian. I want to hear his voice. I want to hear him stand up for himself. I don't need Quan the spokesman. This is what I do. This is why I do it. This is why I like being in AGS. These are, I just want, the rest of us are the representatives of our own team, our own franchise. We speak for ourselves. No one has a spokesperson. So, Oops, that's what I want you to dedicate yourself to in 2026. We want to hear from you about your team yourself. No more Quan spokesperson.
Well, speaking of shenanigans, there have been a lot of shenanigans over the years here in the league. There's been a lot of threats of violence, wild accusations on the thread. Most of it been pretty entertaining, even if it came at my expense. Nazi Nick and General Lee. Well, we had a long-time owner in the league get booted, but it wasn't an instant. It didn't happen instantly. It was a slow burn over time and a slower, more progressive burn to brush fire to outright 5-alarm blaze this season. But it all started with smiles and with good cheer. Once again, from the same Keeper episode, we have the Vussy names announcement. Now, Vussy had not heard any of these names. And you'll hear it in the video. He thinks there's only one name that's going to be given to him, and it's Vussy.
The long list of names this may be the longest list of name changes that we've ever had for a team. I'd be very disappointed if you're not there, because we will have a brainstorming session. All the names will be on the wall of the Draft HQ house. And, we're going to select a winner out of about, I think it's up to about 50 names at this point. Have you heard any yet?
I thought it was Vussy. I thought that's what we were going with, but I guess you guys have been.
That's just an appetizer.
Nick, I could do a speed run. Should I speed run through them real quick so we can hear them and see which one's
Vussy's
Hey,
just a
where's my
working title.
favorite? I need my
Vussy's just
favorite.
working title.
What was the surprise of the night?
He got rid of Patrick Mahomes.
No, I think the surprise of the night was the 2-quarterback keeper.
Oh, I thought you were saying specifically what was Dominique's surprise. You're saying of the whole draft.
Whole draft. What's the surprise?
Well, before we down the whole night, can we
go ahead?
Can we deal with the Vussy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hear some of these names.
All right, let me run through them real quick as fast as I can. We got the slanted Vussy. We've got the Kappa House crash out. We've got the Bukkake boy. We've got the accidental carrot. We've got the Cambodian carrot. We've got the Mongoloid munchkin. Cucked kamikaze. We got the goot.
Hey, that was good. The Mongoloid munchkin. I like that one.
We've got this is one of NJC's early favorites, the gook-eyed jizz gobbler. We've got anal samurai, Hiroshima hobbit.
The gook one was pretty good. That's very good and racist. I like that one.
The Monthmon's balding bottom. We've got the chubby chink, the Szechuan shrimps, Tokyo titty boy, pot belly power bottom. The Monthmon's Pinoy pillow biter. We've got. I didn't want to be a groomsman anyway.
Ooh, cuts deep. Ooh, he didn't laugh at that one.
It's not really funny.
Tight lip on that one.
That one struck a nerve. We've got
nobody cares about Jamon, nigga. You niggas care more about this nigga than I do.
Here we go.
I really don't.
And an explanation came with it.
So if I don't say nothing, then you guys say something. If I say something, explanation, lip starts out everywhere.
Either way you lose, Buffy.
Oh, if he blinks his eyes, that means code for he really cares. Jesus fucking Christ.
That name struck a nerve. All right.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I have some jokes like this, but it's being recorded, so.
We've got the Vegas asphalt divers. You had to be there for that one. We got the Glory Hole Geisha. We have Viet Coon.
That was a good one.
We've got the Siamese.
Yeah, please clarify that I did not come up with those names.
I don't think you came.
I do not support.
Well, I mean, NJC was, pretty hard about your boy. I mean, Jesus Christ, nigga, if you just want to admire me, go ahead, because I took that championship from you. I mean, that's fine.
Okay.
Oh, I knew this list would get the pod going.
So that was the beginning of the end right there. That was as I'm going to go to the next. There's a sequence here that between the names and what happens in this next clip here that completely end, I think, Vu's desire to want to chat with anybody here in the league.
But he was all smiles in that video.
That was the beginning of the end. I think after the what was it? I didn't want to be a groomsman anyways. It just went downhill.
Yeah, exactly. There was no laugh.
That's what we made his name the first week.
Yeah.
And he stopped talking to us after that.
Yeah, Pandora's box was open with that one.
Until the Kappa House crash out part 2.
Oh, things haven't been the same.
After all of those names came down the hill and he had to deal with that for about a week, he got to face off against Frogs in week 1, and that didn't go so well for him. And, you know, Cebert Frogs, he's a gracious loser and a gracious winner. And he brought nothing but grace here to the first episode of the season and really set the bar high in terms of his introductions. Cebert, my hat off to you for killing it. You had 3 or 4 just in character introductions. This was the first of the few, maybe my personal favorite.
You, Bussy. My intro is dedicated to you, and you may never see this, Bussy, but I want to thank you for your wetness. I'm dripping wet here. You were just so wet this week, like a slip inside. My co-host Kawan, NJC, and I mean, you all in for a tweet when it's your Bussy week. I mean, look at me. I'm still drying off from all this wetness. Bussy, you keep it up, sir. You sure know how to make a man feel good. Cuss, you enjoy that, Bussy, next week. I tell you what, Bussy, I'll see you for round 2 in week 12. Thank you. I'm happy to be here tonight, 1-0, thanks to the Bussy hole.
My 2 favorite lines, though, that was when you say a cologne and then you say man.
I like the little laugh at the end.
Hey, you know, shout out to my father-in-law, Lati. That I was conjuring his spirit in that intro. I just now realized that watching that video, I never got that week 12. I never got that second helping of Bussy, man. He didn't make it to week 12. I got stuck with the Havoc, who did he beat me? I think he might have beat me.
He might have beat you that week, actually.
Man, that was funny, man. It's funny. Damn, that's crazy. It's like that. It's like Bussy was in the league such long ago, but it was still this season. That's crazy.
This season, and these 2 clips, those clips that we just saw between the names and Thotho Wet happened a week apart, and that was the end of what we saw.
Too much wetness.
I'm just gonna screenshot this here real quick. I want you guys to see this. Look at this face, dude. What the fuck? Just screenshot that.
Well, speaking of screenshots, it was the names, right? And I think we got a little carried away, and rightly so. If you can't get carried away with fantasy football, what can you get carried away with? But you know, I don't know if this is coming up in another clip, but we had so many names. We had more names than there are weeks in fantasy football. So it got to a point where every week we were changing his name. You know, the team would get to choose what name they wanted, and then we would start to, you know, part of the name change was a logo, and hey, let's roll with it. Let's make a new logo every week. And I think one of the final blows was that last logo, that Thman's Glory Hole Geisha with the logo.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, I put it up here on the screen, but I don't want to get banned from YouTube for pornography, so we'll just leave that one out. Well, we actually do have a clip. It's not this one, it's the next one, where we get a little glimpse of what that name change was when Quan announces it. But this next clip is the beginning of the valley, this quiet valley, the death valley for Voodoo. We hadn't heard from him on the thread, and this was a guy who every week was firing off something. And it usually started with fantasy football, but it quickly devolved into questioning one's sexuality, referring to one as a MAGA simp or whatever it may be. Here we go with Bussy's abandonment.
You know, there's a couple things, you know, that we needed to talk about, because this has been a big thing on the podcast.
is this the end of the Slurps as we know it? Our favorite whipping boys. The Rat Pack is dissolved, and then Vussy not only didn't come to the draft and tried to shit on our draft. He's not responsive on the thread. And the interesting thing about I was having a thread on WhatsApp, you can see that he's at some point looking at the messages and not responding. He did go all day Sunday without even checking it, though. That's got to be a certain type of hell to live in, that you can't even interact. It's just fantasy football. We're in our mid-40s. You can't hurt that much. It can't be that. It's fantasy football.
So it is fantasy football, and you're right. Nobody should take it that seriously. What we didn't mention after the last clip was that there wasn't a single other team who came in last place in the last 5 or 6 years that had to endure the gauntlet of name changes and avatars and ridicule. So Wussy's abandonment, it was just fantasy football, but you guys, we kind of took it to a different level. And was there any motivation for that? Was there any specific reason?
I think it was pent up. I think we said it so many times, dude. Like, so many inappropriate comments, so many hit blows pause below the belt, so many just to the jugular. So when and all the how many times did he say to me, "Hey, give me that ring, man. That's my ring. I took that. I won that ring." And and so it's like when it was his turn to catch it, he caught it, man. I mean, he dished it so much. So
the thing is, in that episode, NJC does a good breakdown of that. He go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. It's all good. I'm just saying, had he just took his L the way he delivered his W's, everything would have been copacetic, but it didn't work out that way.
Well, I think it's twofold. It's that, right? You fire shots at everyone when it's your turn. You got to take it. Not only did he come in last place the season before, but at this, there was a point in the season where he was 0-7, so he was repeating it. And I think what frustrated me the most regarding AGS is that his team wasn't an 0-7 team, and we quickly learned that once he did leave and we had Coastal Havoc take over the team, that they started stringing together victories relatively easily. So it's like, it's one thing to abandon the chat because your feelings are hurt about words that are said, but don't abandon. We want, still as commissioner of the league, I want everybody to be as competitive as possible. So, that was the most frustrating part, when moves aren't being made, rosters aren't being set, you're trying to trade away your players. That's what took the turn where it's like, okay, this is beyond the jokes. You're bringing down the level of competitiveness in AGS. And at that point, regardless, NJC's that picture, man, today, I forgot that Dominique was in there, man. You were pre-pledging today's Founders Day, Cap Alpha Psi Yo-Yo, J5. And NJC posted a picture of when we literally had just crossed in spring 99 and we were hazing and pre-pledging NJC while he was in high school. But on the other side of the picture was Dominique, man. So that shows you how far back we go. There's no amount of jokes that can't be overcome. There's no amount of conflict that can't be overcome. So any of this at any point could have been an easy conversation. And as commissioner, I reached out multiple times and, he didn't want to talk to me when it was happening. And, it sounds like he doesn't want to talk to me post leaving AGS.
Couple more in the Vussy arc here. We did the name change thing, and Quan had an especially spicy one that wasn't on the list. Got the titty boy next week. Quan, are you still with us? I muted you. I can unmute you. Okay.
I'm here. Got the Vussy next week, and I will be announcing my Vussy name of the week is This Vussy's for Sale.
And that was that for that clip. This Vussy's for sale. And let me just bounce to the real next one. We had a week. We had a thread go off. We had the Gain.
Scum, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt your flow here, but just to give some context, that's when we found out from eventually the new owner, Coastal Havoc, that Vussy was shopping his team. That was when we got confirmation that he was trying to sell his team, he was trying to sell draft picks. So that's where the Vussies for sale came from, a little context.
No, thanks. That actually is spot on, which gives another level to Quan's diss. And, you know, he couldn't be here because he forgot, but nice job with that one, Quan. That then led to a midweek double middle finger from the Vussy. Correct me if I'm wrong, Froggy, but Havoc came in that like the week was in play already.
Yeah,
it was like a Wednesday or Thursday.
Honestly, it was perfect timing because we held an all AGS meeting that Vussy showed up for. There was a lot of feelings, a lot of yelling, but ultimately Wu doubled down and said he was committed to the league. Well, we let him hang in there. Within a week, he continued to trade his players. The trades were approved, and then something happened. I forget what it was. Maybe it was the logo. I forget what happened, but all within a week he quit the league, right? And then it was like perfect timing because to approve those trades, and then to let like those trades be in effect during a week of our league would have been almost insurmountable to come back, like to have a fairly ran league this year. So it was perfect timing for him to quit. I was able to undo the trades that were made, and then we brought Coastal Havoc into the league and let him take over. And the trade deadline hadn't passed. He looked at that roster, and I think wisely he held on to the best players that were on that roster.
I think this is where it started.
But I never see any jerks again.
Right, and from that, it descended from there. That's what it was. It was a Kevin McAllister gif that for some reason pushed him over the edge. And it was a lot. It was a lot of drama. It was like, guys, we're in our middle age. We're playing fantasy football here, and we're watching decades, friendships unravel over words and feelings. But when it all played out and when it was all said and done, I think there was a general sentiment that was shared.
Leaving the league is the best thing that's happened to me in a long time, man. It's like a monkey off my back.
I'm gonna leave it like that. You saw him at the Christmas party. He saw you. You walked two different ways, and that was that. I think I had that highlighted here, but we've got enough deep dive into the Vussy arc. I'll just say that from kind of an outsider's perspective, a guy who met him, way after you guys knew him, it was shocking. I'd never seen a friendship. I had a friend once who I knew this kid from middle school, and we were friends for a long time, and he never cared about football. And when the Seahawks got good, he became a 12th man, and we kind of went back and forth. And the year that they lost the Super Bowl to the Patriots, I texted him right after the game was over and talked some shit. And he removed me from Facebook and never talked to me again. I haven't talked to this guy since then. We were friends for about 20 years, and it was that one line right there. I've never seen anything quite like it until I saw what happened with Vussy here. And I felt, I don't know. I can't say I feel bad for you guys, but in a way, it was kind of sad to see all of this just blow up in smoke, man.
Football trash talk hurts. And, I think there's a little bit of back and forth today on the chat. I think that could be something that Quan didn't want to face on the podcast tonight.
You know what? Actually, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this you made me think about this because I asked you guys why you went so hard on Vussy pause. And you said it was just built up. And I'm telling you right now, I am waiting for any time the Rams. I've got the candles lit for this football season. I hope they blow the team up next season because I can take it, man. I'm a Raiders fan. We know this team's been shitty for a while. That's fine. But some people can't. And I think this is one of those situations.
Yeah, I agree, man. There was some jokes back and forth. I agree with you, Quan. I think, and we've talked about this on the podcast, there's definitely some guilt there that the Quan has about abandoning the Raiders and jumping on the Rams bandwagon. I think it was just perfect that he probably didn't even look at that half of the GIF where it was naked Freddie Mercury gyrating on the side. He just wanted the another one bites the dust.
Another one bites the
Probably
dust,
like
but the guy's got
1,000 another one bites the dust GIFs that doesn't have a naked Freddie Mercury gyrating. But I love that. I love where I can just extract the part that makes him look foolish. And like, wait, no, guys, I'm talking about no, we're gonna focus on this side of it. and make jokes about your homosexual gift that you just shared with the league. But no, unfortunately for me and Vu, there were a lot of things built up throughout the years, and it's hard. It's crazy looking at that arc, right? Because at the beginning you see the big smile, he's enjoying it. I think that was what I remember Victoria's Secret listening to the episode. She was like, I love when Vu's on. It makes it's a fun episode. The trash talking. He had his giant AGS belt in the back. So yes, there, he was in the league for a decade. Clearly there was a time where he was fond of the league, obviously the year he won the championship. But ultimately I care about AGS a lot, man, and I just want the league to be ran well. I want people to enjoy it. And, it became like we've said, less jokes, but much more enjoyable once he exited stage left.
Well, so the end of the Vussy arc, our season, our podcast was not so serious. And if you want to check out the good times of the Vussy arc, go ahead and check out the keeper announcement that I think was episode 23 of this year, somewhere around there. I'll put it up here. We got plenty of laughs, plenty of derogatory, jocular sophomore humor. This is one little glimpse here. This was coming off of Quan's birthday, I believe. Quan celebrated early October, and making a little joke about how he was going to spend his time after he got off the podcast to celebrate his birthday.
You're probably right about that.
Damn, you can't even get any birthday strokes for the morning. No morning gushish.
I have to be at work at 6 in the morning. Not quite sure for any reason the wifey's waking up for that. Those days are long gone.
Hey, I don't know about you guys, man. I at my older age, I don't like to get the strokes before work. It's like it's like you have the best thing happen in your day early, and then you have nothing else to look forward to. For me, so for some reason at this age, I prefer the strokes like at the end of the day.
I'm not a person who likes to have sex during the I can't day sex. Not for me. I like end of the I'm something.
I love to start the day off. Middle of the day, right at the end of the night when I'm about to go to sleep. I like to get it when I'm in full energy after a workout or something like that. It's perfect.
After a workout.
Oh yeah, while the endorphins are going. Oh man,
there's no sleep better than that post vinegar stroke sleep.
We're on the same page, NJC. I like to pull it out, rest my head back on the pillow, and just sleep in the cream.
Hey, air dry, baby, air dry.
And then peel it off in the morning.
Hey,
sicko.
Hey, there's nothing better than a nice nature's mask. It's a shaft mask.
You don't even need a blanket.
Sheets. Oh wait. That's disgusting. A fucking sarcophagus of. Oh, what the fuck? Dude, look at my fucking eye. It's terrible.
That was the Sky Guy episode, man.
That was the fart pillow pink eye episode. Man. So there are a couple of controversial things here. Well, number one, I actually agree with Froggy in terms of looking forward to. It's like opening your Christmas gifts, all your Christmas gifts on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas morning happens. You're like,
what the fuck?
But I'm also never turning it down. So, if it has, so it just so happens that the morning time is the right time. And then the day sex thing too. Don't like day sex.
I'm not a fan of it, bro.
I mean, what do you like?
I don't know, man. When the
between the hours of 8
and
so when the sun's out, no buns out.
I mean, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Maybe I'm just that routine. I want to, like you said. I think it's just that after I bust, I want to go to bed. I want to go to sleep.
for the rest of the night.
Yeah, it goes back
guys-
to what we just talked about, the carpal tunnel, the aging, the fact that this is a digital game that we could play. Like, Vussy, where are you going, man? Like, this is the thing that we need to get through these later years in life. This is the excitement that it brings us. I mean, this is coming from I'm sitting in Nature's Mask as we speak, you know. And typically after that, you like to go to sleep, man. But I say it, and this is the 46-year-old me talking. You know, I'm sure that I was a day sex bandit in my youth, but if I like once I know, particularly from my wife, right? Like, this isn't something that's happening every day, multiple times a day. You know, this is something that's, you know, if you're lucky, it's multiple times a week. If I know that that's going to be a good day, my spirits are already like, I'm already excited. And like, I don't want to blow that excitement at 11 a.m. and then I'm just grumpy for the rest of the day.
No pun intended.
Right. I want to build. I'm building up, man. I'm jumping in the shower. I'm getting freshly shaven. Something good's happening today. I'm happy all day. And then then it happens, the full production. I'm so excited. And then
you sleep like a baby.
Right. And then sleep great with a smile on my face. That means I've been happy all day.
And then go to bed and don't even take a paper towel to your junk.
No, man, you got Nature's Mask. You want to hold on to that essence for as long as possible. You may even want to skip a shower the next day just to hold on to it for as long as possible.
Marinate in the marinara.
Just, you know, that's fucked up. And that's half your own shit too, because I know you guys aren't. I know you guys are not pulling out nothing. Well, maybe you and JC, maybe you, but not neutered frog. That's the whole reason, right?
But it's batterless. But it's like it's what is that? It's like an alcohol. What is it? Alcoholless beer? No, there's nothing in there. There's no punch.
There's a little bit of swagoo in there. I can't believe that though. Like, you wake up and then there's fish flakes all over the sheets. And
you gotta put that marinade on the frog's leg. You know, get it freshly battered.
Oh my god.
Fish
Oh man, that is absolutely the worst.
Oh, this is a good episode. But if Lewis was on, I would ask him, like, bro, like, so you first of all, he said after a workout, so that means we know how much sex he's really having.
Right? You said workout.
Workout. You don't even work.
What are you working out?
3 times a year, I'd get it like I wanted.
So wait, my question would be: so you go to the gym, you have a full workout, you're exhausted, you go home and you get to it. You don't want to shower. You just want to put salsa balls just in the wife. Like, I don't see, none of that makes sense to me.
There must be a shower included.
I hope there
has
is,
to be.
man.
I don't think the Mrs. Kwan is going for.
She's not going.
I mean, God bless her, because like,
Bench
I'm not
press
saying
balls. Nah.
I'm not saying I'm the prettiest face to like have just like looking right over you, but Teddy Perkins is some other shit.
I mean,
look, I'll give Quan credit. There is something to be said in our age, and you know, not being the peak of physical shape like we used to be, at least some of us. You know, it does give you that. Oh, I got to run in today. Like, I'm ready. I'm ready. I can, you know, I'm not gonna be breathing hard. I'm not gonna be sweating a puddle of sweat into my wife's face. You know, when you're in better shape, there's better performance, right? I don't know if that works the same day, but I know if I get a good work in, you know,
we're gonna run a half marathon. I'm gonna beat those kicks. I'll be right back.
Beat those kicks. Mind you, he might need like fucking the electrolysis for after the run.
Gonna have the fucking CPAP machine while he's piping.
That's crazy. Hey, and those discussions are my favorite when we get together, and anytime we get together, but especially on the pod chatting, we mix in a little bit of the friendship game with the fantasy football game. And then there's also just the reality of the situation. You know, we had a friend, a longtime friend, OG, founder of the league, go through a lot in a year. I mean, from the edge of life all the way back to pretty much independence, being able to take care of himself. And there was an episode here at the later part of the season, just a couple of weeks ago, when Rudy did the unthinkable and beat an undefeated Ambassador Zaquan to taint his taint, put the 1 in the L column, and Froggy once again delivered an impassioned speech for his friend that I want to kind of close out the episode here with. Here we go.
Almost piggybacking a little bit off of NJC, but I do want to share a few words for my brother Rudy, who's had an incredible year, ups and downs. Is my audio coming through all right, Scum? All right. So, Rudy, given the significance of your victory this week, man, I just wanted to say something to you, man, in the kind of in the spirit of Rudy. Rudy, the movie, the Notre Dame great. There comes a moment in every team season where the world feels bigger than you are, where the record, the rankings, the projections also don't belong. People look at the numbers, look at the names, and they think the story's already been written. But then something happens. The team stands up and says, not today. The team decides that heart matters more than perfection, that grit matters more than predictions. And this week, Rudy did exactly that. You stepped onto that field against Laquan, the league's giant, and you didn't blink. You didn't back down. You delivered a 144 to 118.5 statement that nobody saw coming except the men on your roster who believed it was possible. And that's the thing about heart. You can't measure it on a stat sheet. You can't calculate it with an algorithm. Heart is built in when no one's cheering, no one's watching, and you keep going anyway. Rudy knows that better than anyone. For over a year, he's been fighting a battle far bigger than AGS. He wakes up every day and chooses to fight again. And if he can keep going, if he can keep showing up, then none of us have an excuse, because in this lifetime, you don't have to prove anything to anybody but yourself. And that's exactly what his team did. You proved that you belong. You proved that belief beats doubt. You prove that even when the world counts you out, you can write your own ending. Champions are remembered, but fighters are never forgotten. And Rudy, this week you fought like hell and you earned every bit of it. Rudy.
Frogs, you are a talented guy, talented wordsmith. I have to know, was that off the dome? Was that you?
Well, yeah, outside of the butterfly effects, usually I write everything myself. Even my championship speech that I gave last week, like I wrote my own championship speech. But I have probably more often than not, particularly with work, like I've become a slave to AI. So I'll run it through it just to make it, I don't want it to run too long. So I'll put in certain prompts that say, let's keep this to 2 minutes, or let's, just clean this up a little bit. Honestly, I've trained my chat to understand AGS, and I talk to it a lot when it comes to roster decisions for my team, but I haven't really trained it well when it comes to things like that, like speeches and stuff, right? It comes out in a completely different voice that's not mine. So I don't like to use it for that stuff, or I'll use it for helping to build it out, but then I have to go back and edit it again to make sure it's coming from my voice. So I don't know. I guess a little bit of both, but I do write my stuff myself and then just try to proofread and clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, well, that kids is how it's done. And Rudy's a beloved friend, beloved owner in the league. It was great to have him join the podcast towards the end there. Hope to get more of Rudy back on the show in 2026. The season it's only 7 months away, guys. So, we got a lot to look forward to in the next 7 months.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, there's still the football playoffs, and for once, I'm excited. I can't think of it.
Hey, you should reach out to your buddy. Maybe he'll reply this time.
Nah, you know what? I want to cheer for the Seahawks, but then I think of that asshole, and I'm like, I don't even want to see them win, man. But I actually need to. I should practice more forgiveness and pray that his team wins. You know, that's what I should do. I should pray for my enemies' joy, pray for their success. But I mean, the Seahawks do look pretty good, but it feels like any team can get got. I mean, Jacksonville looks great. It's gonna be exciting playoffs, man.
It's not gonna be Mahomes, and I don't think it's gonna be Philly, so I'm happy.
Yeah, but this is also the dark times, right? Like there was just no energy. Football's on, and it's just not the same without fantasy. I saw this meme today of like the end of Red Zone, where the host is, I think they compared it to like a scene in Stranger Things, and it's just he's packing his stuff up and he's gone till next season. There was, some fun games. That Baltimore-Pittsburgh was fun to watch last night. I'm excited for the playoffs.
Lamar trying to make sure, trying to hope he stays on the team, throwing a 50-yard bomb. Yeah, I didn't believe it.
One thing in that, watching that Rudy speech is that I forgot what it was like to only have 4 trophies. It looks bare now. The 5th guy has joined us, so we have another member of the podcast that will be joining us every episode next season.
That's all right though, NJ. We got to get close to start working on that back row.
Yeah, dang. You were close. 3. You had 1 away there. Now Froggy puts a little bit of distance.
I know, man.
But this is exciting. This gives more chase. It gives more hunger, more fire. It is the dark days. There is nothing to fill the void. I watched when I got home yesterday afternoon. I watched a little bit of Red Zone just so I could get that little last bit left, just so I could get the witching hour, just so I could sit here and say thank you, Scott Hansen,
man,
for all you've done.
Once fantasy's done, and I agree, it's hard to poop on your soliloquy, but it's just sour, man. It's like sour grapes. You look at it, and especially when you don't win. Like Coop, you're happy, but I'm just like, let's fucking get back to the draft. I need to get back in this bitch. Fuck this shit.
Yeah, it's funny how quickly, because you've won 2 years in a row, and just 1 year of losing. I went through 7 years of that. So you one year
7 years of losing, is that it?
Just 7.
Fuck, man.
Oh, boys. Another season's come to a close, huh, boys?
Yeah. It's the wrap, fellas.
We got to figure out how we're going to up our games next season, man. Something's going to change. I think I'm going to have to maybe a surprise, with where I'll be reporting from. We'll see.
Ooh.
Well, we don't talk a lot of strategy, but this is where taking deep dives in the off season and studying talent. This is where, I was listening to a certain podcast, one of our competitors today, and I realized that I got away from it during the season, and they mentioned it. They were like, everybody, welcome back. Fantasy's over, and this is where we grind to build till next year. So, a lot of that, it was true. A lot of the work that got put into this championship and to making my teams competitive over the years is during the off season. So, we may not be watching games. It may not be that exciting, but that's where the real grind takes place to find those gems that are going to help your team pop off next season.
Yes, sir.
Wise words from the king. I think we'll leave it there, fellas. I really appreciate you joining us on this non-fantasy football week, and I appreciate the viewers for following us all season long. I know we got a couple loyal listeners out there, so thank you very much to you folks, and to the pod squad. Maybe we'll do a little one in between, or maybe not. But for sure, we know that the real football talk won't begin for us till we do the keeper announcement next year. I hope we do it again the same way we did it. I loved how we did it last year. So
absolutely, we'll bring that back for sure.
Yes, sir.
Well, gentlemen, go enjoy your evenings. Thank you so much. Cebert Frogs, wash your dick. NJC, watch Stranger Things. It's Rebel Scum, and we're signing off. We'll catch y'all when we catch y'all.
Peace.
Peace out.
Championship celebration. edition is sponsored by my Sans, Clarence Robinson, and his wife, Janine. Thank you for the bottle of Moet. You know, I couldn't do this without my family, so I'm going to bring everybody on. LJ, Audie, Shy, Shay, everybody's here. Silo, the newest member of the family. Squeeze in here, guys. Here's the camera. LJ, get in there. Cheyenne and Shiloh, Shay, Lex, Audie. All right, get your cups out. Let's have some champs.
I ain't drinking.
Champs for the champ.
Just say he's drinking.
All right. Cheers to the
Cheers.
Frogs, 5-time champion. Here you go, Cheyenne.
Thanks, that's good.
There you go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
7 long seasons ago, 2017, I last stood here. Back then, Audie and LJ were just 6 and 4 years old, too young to fully comprehend the weight of what their father meant to this league. This weekend in fabulous Las Vegas, while celebrating the Awumis 15-year wedding anniversary, they finally witnessed it. Their father back in his natural frog habitat, reclaiming his throne. This is my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th AGS championship. You see the trophies back here. That one will get a name on it soon. Placing the Cebert Frogs franchise in the same rare air as the Dallas Cowboys, my beloved San Francisco 49ers, Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, Tim Duncan, Reggie Jackson, and Wayne Gretzky. Atop the Mount Rushmore of AGS, the envy of all 11 other franchises. To Quan, NJC, Scum, and every owner in AGS, thank you for raising the standard of competition year after year, for pushing me, challenging me, and forcing me to dig deep and find greatness again. Special thanks to Rudy for reminding us all that the mighty Quan was in fact mortal by exposing the chink in his armor in week 14, breaking his undefeated streak. So the rest of us knew that the throne, albeit difficult, was possible to attain. My heart goes out to the ambassadors of Quan as he delivered the greatest regular season performance. I'll say that again, regular season performance in AGS history, 13-1. I hoped since our matchup in week 6 that I would get this opportunity to avenge my loss. This 5th ring is that much sweeter because it came against the AGS #1 seed and the competitor and podcast host who has consistently reminded me of how long it had been since my last title. This championship was forged in the rebuild fire, starting with Bijan, the franchise messiah Robinson, my #1 overall pick in the 2023 draft. When the lights were brightest on Monday Night Football, on championship weekend, when I needed him most, my season on the line, Bijan delivered 41.5 points, the most points he's ever scored in his professional and college career, to secure the comeback championship victory. The Samoan demigod, Puka Nacua, the greatest waiver wire acquisition in AGS history, the heart and soul of my team, 310.5 points, leading all AGS wide receivers. Without his 45-point semifinal masterpiece, we never make it past NJC to even reach this stage. And on the grand stage, despite struggling for the better part of 4 quarters, after having 2 long touchdown passes called back for penalty, it was Puka who delivered Quan's final death blow on the 11-yard touchdown catch from Stafford to clinch my victory. Scum, you can cue the Cosm video right here when we celebrated after that touchdown. I salute my entire championship roster. Matthew, the wideout alchemist Stafford, #1 quarterback in AGS. Thank you to Rudy for cutting him in week 7. Travis Etienne, thank you, Quan, for dropping him before week 1. Chris, the cold-blooded Creole, my Bayou savior, Olave. Harold Fannin Jr., thank you, NJC, for the holiday gift last week. Rookie Travion, Patriot Missile Henderson, the future is bright. Jason, kicker of the North, automatic from the sound, Myers, the #1 kicker in AGS, and the Pats defense. This team conquered a season defined by historic, catastrophic injuries. This championship is for our fallen soldiers. Malik, IHOP icon, the future of the 5 boroughs, Neighbors, Patrick Mahomes, Tucker Kraft, Garrett Wilson, Rashi, Yak Machine Rice, and Quinshawn, the juggernaut Judkins. Rehab Strongfellas, and prepared to defend our crown in 2026. I'm more proud of this team than of any of the championship rosters that came before them, because every week we had to replace a fallen soldier, and we hit on every waiver wire pickup. They kept the train moving forwards towards our ultimate goal, even as we were losing train cars left and right. I did this for Victoria's Secret. I did this for Adi and LJ, and most importantly, I did this for me. God bless America. God bless AGS. And God bless the 5-time champion Cebert motherfucking Frogs. Cheers, fellas.